All right, everyone. So we're going live today, and well, today we need to go over some things. I need to get started, so we'll just be going over first. It's best to bring up this one. Yeah, whatever. But I'm gonna bring this into there too. All right. So now we're gonna look at these charts. We're gonna get rid of this. All right. So we have. Pretty sure we're quite bearish on the indices right now, so we'll just quickly go from that top down. Remember, we had the Iran over the weekend with war. So what that usually does is it's not usually like you open up where you closed and then you expand lower or then you expand higher. Usually what I've seen, it's you just get this huge gap, and that's kind of the effect from the news. Unless it like continues to go on, because obviously it always changes. Like when there's talks about like Greenland or those sort of things, it's not the same as Iran. Iran's obviously bigger because it's like real war. 3 F-16s were lost yesterday, so there's definitely going to be some effect. But weekly we have nice wicks already formed, and you can tell that this is going to be the sell side, right? This looks like the draw, especially for today. YM has already run there. So look at this. If this was SMT, this is SMT break. We ran it. If this is SMT, we need to expand away already. We need to expand overnight to confirm the SMT, because right now we would be lagging on there. So that's how you can tell it's not an SMT, which means that I want it to be broken. Breaked. What the fuck? Oh, fuck. My bad. Let's see. Yeah, so it was run already. So we're not really watching this asset. And then on the daily, still looks good. This wick looks beautiful. Like you can get in this right now. It looks like, honestly. 4 hour beautiful because it pulled up internally, right? So without running this low right here, I would get into NQ anytime right now, because without running this low, we've come back in. So we've left these equal lows, and then price has retraced back inside of this range, and we haven't ran this internal. So we're going from an internal to external model already to finish off this internal to external model. So on the hourly, I hope to see some SMT. No SMT on the hourly. Technically, because like you can technically always find some SMT, but then it's like, do you want to force an SMT? Because like those clear ones are the ones that give you those big wins, like my clear SMTs. But it does show that, so we'll drop down to the 30-minute. Oh my god, 30-minute looks so good because of this order block, or just like chain say delivery slash order block being formed here, price coming back into it right now. So 30 minutes correlation time frames, 3 minute, that's where I'd be looking for some entry. Yeah. All right, we're opening our trade copier right now. I don't think we're gonna connect my Lucid accounts right now, just because I took a beautiful win yesterday, so I already hit the consistency for our day, so I cannot trade those really. All right, we're connected over there. Now the question is, how do I want to get in? Do I want to use this 3 minute? Should I just enter right now? These are the questions that we have. Well, This 5 minute looks good too, but it would have to drop down already. I mean, let's bring up our charts to see. So, because there's really going to be two entries. There's going to be an entry if price opens up or runs during market open. Yeah. So overall, it's a really clean trade, but it would have been so much cleaner if we had that SMT right here. If we had double SMT, like two-stage SMT, but we didn't get that. But it is just like, when you look at this 30-minute, for price to come back, resweep this high right here that we kind of accumulated within, resweeps the high and then closes below this up close candle right here. And now this next candle is retracing into it. So not only on the 4 hour is this internal to external, even on this 30-minute chart, internal to external, right? But even deeper, internally, price is retracing right now. And we're looking for a run of this low. So when you drop down, because you're not entering on that 30-minute, when you drop down to the 3-minute, this is most optimal because you haven't ran this low. So you're entering on the retracement back into displaced lower. So that's something you could sort of drop. I mean, yeah. ES looks good out of here. Yeah, really all the assets do look clean out of here. Gold's dumping right now. I'll go over my gold trade later. I like this close. Let's see what's the 5-minute coming. So 5-minute closes in 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that's kind of when you'd want to time that expansion on NQ. My name is... Oh, I'm stupid AF, bro. Yeah, so let's look at that 5-minute. Yeah, you'd want to see that close below because that would signify that this order block, fair value gap retracement, is like what you needed to go lower. I would like to see some expansion away before we actually get to market open. My name is no. Yeah, this 30-minute is just primed to go lower, and like even when the 4 hour is too, because the 4 hour hasn't overexpanded or anything. I mean, yeah, it's primed too, but because you're playing a continuation, I'm just thinking to myself, because this is technically also a C2 candle, because we've ranged lower, we've capped out the range with this. So you could look for a retracement back, but that doesn't really make sense to me because it's kind of like this low at least are just there's such a close draw, and I think after this gap down yesterday we're quite bearish, so we could see that this draw run, and then with YM already running this last week, it's kind of like, well, it ran it and we haven't recovered, so it's SMT break. So I want to see the SMT form there, or I want to see the SMT break there, which means I want to see all the assets run the lows, because the SMT is still valid now, but once it runs the lows, then obviously it's not. Silver shorts are cooking right now, or yeah. silver might be like the only asset to trade, or like gold and silver, very good assets. So ES is helping this expansion lower. It looks better right now compared to NQ, but I'm in both trades at NQ's and more profit than ES. So I entered a little bit higher in the range, I guess. So where are these lows that I wanted to target? There. You can't see, but I'm looking on ES. Yeah, so we'll just wait to market open here. I was gonna say, yeah, let's go over my gold trade from yesterday. Actually, I don't need to bring over. Actually, I will. Yeah, so we have gold right here, and we'll go over my trade. You can't see my executions. Sorry, gold's dumping here. This is a beautiful short that I was just going over because you have this intraday high, which is the high of the day created. And look at this SMT that we form right here. Like, this is a very strong SMT. Technically, it's like that, technically. So you can obviously see how weak silver is here. So, and you can catch these continuations. This is that same like internal to external model right here, right, where price dumps. We close this CSD. Price retraces back in, but we haven't ran it external liquidity, so it's, right, what is it? Internal to external. You drop down to the 5-minute. You wait for price to confirm that CSD with our secondary, or just like some way to get into the trade, right? You could enter in if you wanted to look for the pullback into a range, right? You could just wait there and price comes back in, so you short. You could wait for a fair value gap, but there wasn't any. Yeah, but that was really, there were just 1 minute or 3-minute CSDs. Yeah, that 3-minute CSD right here, right there, and this candle would have been fire. And then as you can see, this shit is dumping. But I took longs last night, so let's reset this shit a little bit. This is just based off of we were pretty bullish in my eyes. Like silver was the weaker asset, and we had multiple times swept out like lows, especially in the 30-minute. Yeah, we swept out these Friday lows. While gold over here was a lot stronger, and it wasn't able to on the when market opened. We traded too high where we pulled back right into the new week opening gap. While silver new week opening gap traded up, but we didn't trade too like way too high, so we were still able to trade lower, and that's what got us to these lows right here that we wouldn't have got to on gold. So my idea was that gold should trade higher, and this was my end draw through all this chop. Yeah, so what I wanted to do, this was more of an intraday trade because I really like 15-minute price action on gold on Asia session. But we started off with this 30-minute price retraced back in, and we were kind of uncorrelated. Like there's this PSP, and then we trade lower, and we formed this two-stage SMT. When out, because I was watching in this candle to see if we could go lower. Yeah, okay. We have market open here in a minute. I'll show my positions. Let's see. Yeah, so I was watching in this candle waiting for that C2 to form because I wanted to see the longs. One second. Dude, my throat is on fire. What the fuck? Yeah, so he had this, I was waiting for the C2 to form. We formed this where price runs the low, strength switch, because gold over here was the stronger asset, remember? Turns to the weaker asset, while silver turns to the stronger asset. So in theory, you would hop down to the 3-minute chart right after that, when that CSD forms, and you would wait for that silver CSD to trade higher. But I like gold. Gold's kind of something about it, you know? We pull back into this 15-minute because you can use 15-minute fair value gaps, obviously, for 15-minute price action and for 4-hour candles. And price, that's where we kind of receive that SMT fill. And then I hopped down to the 5-minute, and I was looking for a change of state delivery. Wait, I need to get water. Yeah, so the CSD would be too far, kind of, and I think we were in this candle right here, so we didn't form this bearish candle. So I was just like, okay, the only thing really is this inversion fair value gap, where you'd get in the close above, but I didn't really like that because that doesn't make sense to me right here. That'd be letting like price like go too far, maybe. Like it doesn't have the structure up there. It's kind of floating. I don't really like entering on something like that. I like when price has something right there that makes sense to bounce off of, right? Because if you enter when you're right here, wait, quickly. When you enter right here, oh shoot, market's opening and price is dropping now. I might just send it and get in on one of these assets. If we Yeah, we'll see. But let's see. Yeah, I didn't want to enter kind of floating up here, so I hopped onto that 3-minute. We had a 3-minute change of state delivery off of this, which, I don't know, something about that looks really clean from my experience over the years. So hopped in that and took that right there. Targeted, I don't know, something. We gotta lock in here, that's why. What the fuck? What the fuck? Whoa. Definitely don't want to do that. That would be bad. Okay, I'm trying to find my screen on the other laptop. Okay, so we have one over here. Gotta bring this to one of my screens. I have 3 screens. And one over here. Why did I bring this over there? Okay, we have ES here, NQ here. Yes, this is the 15-minute chart. Remember, okay, we want to see what 4 hours is doing now because this is not what we wanted to see. I did enter on an ES short. I'm not gonna lie, off of this. That's not ES. I entered on this very lightly, so it was a $70 loss off of this. It wasn't necessarily a close looking back, but it was relatively clean. Took my stop loss there, and I was targeting these lows right here. So you would get good R on this trade. So when you take these kind of trades, you can allow them to lose. Like you can allow like you to lose 4 of them because your 5th one you're gonna get 6R. So, but this is not what we wanted to see. Because this last candle right here is this is the last and the highest move we should have been able to create in this range before expanding lower, right? As you can tell, we don't want to see something come up into equilibrium, and now both assets are, and we're trading past them. So what do we need? What do we want? No. Technically, there is like a 2-stage SMT where we set this low. NQ sweeps it, ES, or NQ fails to sweep it, ES sweeps it, and the next asset sweeps the previous candle while ES fails to sweep the previous candle. So it's kind of one of those. On the 4 hour. So that's kind of what I was saying, that I did have that idea, right, with this C2 forming. That was kind of the only thing, and we didn't have any SMT on the daily with these 2 candles right here. So it looks like we're maybe creating some SMT if we look on okay, we need to open up YM on my other computer because that's important to watch. But we're not really going to watch, we're not really going to trade anything on YM. Yeah, all assets are technically trading within the weekly new week opening. Yeah, but with this 4 hour, I mean, it really just doesn't look that good for lower prices. This is Wix too big, definitely on NQ. ES not so much, it definitely looks a little bit weaker. We're about to get some 4 hour SMT right here, now we have it. So we have this 4 hour SMT. ES is so much weaker. Yeah, ES is very weak. But does that matter? Let's see. We'll hop down to the... see what we're doing here. I need to charge my shit. We are way too expanded. Like this is not exactly not what I wanted to see at all form on here, but that is completely okay. Okay, there's nothing really happening, but you'd want to see this range capped off. This is a crazy expansion, so it's kind of almost like 250 point expansion. We're not gonna get 500 point expansion. I mean, with news, these things are out of the ordinary. Stuff can happen, but you have to be real. So yeah. Yeah, but it looks like we're going to potentially see even a move higher out of there. But I mean, again, there's nothing you can trade now until we see something happen. I would like to see something like this. We like set a low, sweep a low, come back in here, and then we can kind of like form that expansion lower. But I think it needs time to work out. I don't think it's gonna be like this, although it very much could. So we'll just see. There's no rush. There's nothing happening here. This SMT, we'll see if that holds. Should this seem to come? Yeah, this is pretty bullish, so yeah, whatever. right, so as you can see, we have this SMT right here, but the chances of it holding are very low just because these market conditions. But if you do CSD out of here, that is insanely clean. It's very clean. But it's not, though. I don't know. Because this 30-minute just open, or I guess we'll watch 15. Let's see, it kind of fails there. So I think the whole day is done. Like there's not really an objective now until you get to like PM session. I mean, new 4-hour opening is big. We'll rip that 90 minutes, see what's happening there. Just looks just as clean because if you come back down to the range, you can't close as a C2 candle. I mean, you could, but you don't have much time. I don't know. Yeah, it's not as clean as I would want it to be. We got some SMT here. We have news at 10. This would kind of be that trade. 92 point stop loss, man. Do not mess with that. Do not mess with that. I don't even think I care to trade. But we're within a fair value gap right now that you would need to see price displace lower from.
What the fuck do you want?
I wanted to know why you got me kicked out of the BDSM club.
You know why?
No, I don't.
You
Travis got spotted snowboarding at Heavenly Mountain South Lake Tahoe. Travis got spotted.
Trigger to see real-time data? No.
There's a guy coming up at 125. He fought in the last paper.
Oh shit, it's dropping now. Question is, do I see this expanding lower? No. We need something better than this, I think. That's just not enough. And 4 hours gonna close bullish. We would need to sweep the previous 4 hours candle. I'd say just take. This would be a discretionary trade if I took this. Like, there is nothing necessarily. You would need to see clear CISDs, but we got that on NASDAQ or Dow because the Dow is the weaker one now because it's the one that didn't sweep the most current high that we made. Whatever. Let's see. Strength switch. Not coming down into this low. This low is swept by this asset. So you confirm this SMT once price retraces away and you get this candle moves away. Alright, this candle closes order block and you can switch strength and take this asset to the high. I'm tired AF. Damn, we really didn't get anything today, which is kind of unfortunate, but of course it's gonna happen. I mean, what do we expect? Loud explosions heard from the area of a nuclear facility based in the city of Isfahan area, Iran. Netanyahu, Iran threatens the whole region, including Europe. Trump to discuss Iran strikes at 11 a.m. Eastern time, so 8 a.m. is in an hour. Trump to mention Iran at 11 a.m. The White House says. Netanyahu speaks at the site of the Iranian missile strike that killed 9. Damn, so 9 people were killed by Iranian missile strike. Bro, we gotta stop this war. Netanyahu regime change depends on Iranian people. No shit. You guys should do it if you're the one that started.